What's up guys, it's Alexander Travelbum, and today we're going to go over 10 essential things that you need for when you go to Southeast Asia. So I went through my bag and I grabbed 10 of the things that I think that you really need when you go to Southeast Asia. These are all things that you really should have, so I have them behind me. Let's see what's here. Alright, let's get this one out of the way. Firstly, sunscreen. When you go to Southeast Asia, a lot of the countries, you're gonna see that sunscreen is really expensive because it's meant for tourists. Or the stuff that isn't expensive, it's whitening. It has a whitening product in it that lightens your complexion over time. And you probably don't want that. You probably want a tan. So make sure to bring your own. Bring some extra passport photos. You can take these at home, do it really cheap, print them out here, and then take them with you. It won't matter for a lot of the countries, but sometimes if you need a visa for a country, they can use these instead of taking a photo while you're there, which they charge you extra for. So if you already have your photos, they'll put this on the application and they won't charge you. So wherever I go now, I have about 10 of these with me at all times, just in case that happens. You can save yourself some money there. Okay, next is a bagged rain jacket, something that you can compress down so that it's really small and fits in your bag easily, but it rains a lot in Southeast Asia, so you're gonna want a poncho or some kind of rain jacket like this. A sink stopper. This is great for when you can't do laundry on the road, when you don't have enough time. You can do laundry in the sink at your hotel or your hostel. You just put this in the sink, put a little bit of soap in there or detergent. You can have a little Ziploc of detergent that you bring with you to Southeast Asia, and this has saved me many times. You can do your laundry for free and get it done quickly. Okay, next is a USB powered mini fan. These are great. I use these all the time when I was in Southeast Asia. This one clips on, so you can clip it onto the bunk or clip it on somewhere so that it's on you all night. And so, I mean, you'll probably have AC in a lot of your hotels or hostels, and so you'll probably be fine. But for me, and especially people traveling on a budget, you don't always have AC, and so it can get really hot, and this really saved me many times. Since it's USB, you can plug it into your computer and just run it all night, or you can plug it into a power bank, which is the next thing. So you'll need a power bank so that you can charge your phone, charge your camera batteries, whatever else you have to charge. You'll want a power bank so that you can charge them on the train, on buses, on planes, or even when power outlets aren't working if you're at a hotel or something out in the middle of nowhere. So this is an old one I had for maybe 10 bucks, and it'll charge your phone maybe once. But then I got this one, which I think it's about $40 or something like that, and I love this thing. I can charge my phone 10 times, maybe more. I can charge all my batteries and everything. So I can just continue using this as I travel across the country. So a power bank, I think this is essential for when you're traveling in Southeast Asia. So I have links below to all of these things if you want to check them out. I also have an Amazon shop, so it shows all of these things that I travel with all over the world, and I keep adding to it when I find really good stuff, so check it out. Alright, next is a passport. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously you need your passport, but what I was going to go over here is visas. Make sure you get your visas ahead of time if you need to, online. For example, when I got to Vietnam, I forgot that I had to get a visa. I was already in Indonesia going to Vietnam. I didn't get a visa ahead of time, so I had to get it expedited while I was at the airport, which cost me, I think it was like $600 to get it. And if I had done it just a few days in advance, it probably would have cost $50, maybe even less. So you won't need that for every country, but make sure you look into it. You're gonna need flip-flops. People wear them every day in Southeast Asia because it's hot, but also you're gonna want them for hostels and hotels for the showers, so you don't step with your bare feet onto the shower floor. So the next thing is a bathing suit. You're gonna want a bathing suit. Just kidding, obviously you know you need a bathing suit in Southeast Asia. Alright. A water purifying water bottle. This one is Grail. This one is amazing, and it purifies your water, and so you can drink good, healthy, clean water anywhere. It's saves plastic. You're gonna drink a lot of water in Southeast Asia. You're gonna buy hundreds of plastic bottles if you don't have this. So I suggest this one, but there are a lot of them out there. But this one is really good and minimal, sleek. I love this thing. All right, next is eye mask and earplugs. Hostels especially, you're really gonna need these because it gets noisy and people turn on the light in the middle of the night all the time, and it's just horrible. People don't care sometimes. But even in hotels, if you're in a busy city, there's a lot of honking going on in Southeast Asia and most big cities all night. And so you're gonna want these things. Some slip-on, slip-off shoes. If you can, unless you only like lace-up shoes, it's great to have something like this. Or if you're wearing flip-flops or sandals every day, that's fine. But you're gonna be going into temples and pagodas most likely if you're into that, taking a look around, and it's just a lot of work taking off your laced up shoes. So, alright, next is a jacket, a compressible jacket or sweater. In Southeast Asia it is hot, you're right, but on the buses and trains it can be so cold. You might even need a few jackets. They crank up the AC all the time and they leave it on the whole time. So you're gonna be cold and you're gonna need something. Oh, and the other thing around this is a dry bag. So you're gonna want a dry bag so that you can put your electronics in them, because in Southeast Asia you're gonna be around water all the time and you don't want your electronics to die. So get a dry bag, you put all your electronics in there and they'll be safe. Next is a GoPro. Southeast Asia is one of the few places where a GoPro is mandatory, I think. I really think you need one because you're gonna be snorkeling, scuba diving, you're gonna be in the water all the time, and it is great to have something like this to capture your trip. And on that subject, here's a floating hand grip so that you don't lose it while you're in the sea. It'll just float there so that you don't lose it. And then if you're gonna go scuba diving, you need a scuba dive housing. And then I love this, it's a mouth mount so that you can swim around and get point of view shots. Okay. Because you're gonna be going into temples and pagodas, you're supposed to at least cover your knees. They don't like you going in there with shorts, it's disrespectful. So if you're gonna have some light pair of pants to wear, and for girls, a dress, a sarong, something that you can throw around really quick. Maybe bring one pair of pants, keep them in your bag, and you can throw them on before going into a temple. Alright, this is my booklet for my yellow fever vaccine and all my vaccines. You don't actually need this specifically for Southeast Asia, but make sure you look into vaccines and see what you need before you go to Southeast Asia. Like, at this point in time, I think you should get Japanese encephalitis, the vaccine. Don't get encephalitis. Kind of a subject I don't want to talk about. I want to get you fired up and not afraid of where you're going. So just look into it and see what you might need before you go there. International driving permit. This costs about 20 bucks. You can get it pretty easily, at least in the US. I think you can get it pretty easily anywhere. This is a good thing to have just in case when you're driving scooters, if you want to drive a car or anything in Southeast Asia. Now you can do it legally. Usually in Southeast Asia, they don't ask for this. They don't really care that much, but it's good to have if you have time to get it. 20 bucks. Alright, this is my passport wallet. You don't actually need this, but the things that are inside it, I like to keep a lot of things in here. I have global entry, I have my scuba dive certification, so if you have that, make sure you bring that to Southeast Asia, or you can get certified pretty cheap in Asia if you want to learn how to scuba dive. I have extra credit cards here, and then you're gonna want 1 or 2 extra printouts of your passport. Keep these in a couple places in your backpack so that if you lose your passport, you still have at least a photocopy or 2 of it. Alright, last but not least, this. So this is a couple extra credit and debit cards, because if you lose one, it can be really bad. It can be really hard when you're stuck in a foreign country and you don't have any money. So hide a couple of these in your bag somewhere. Make sure you ask your bank if you can get an extra card or 2. And it depends on the bank you have, but make sure to let them know what countries you're going to so they don't shut down your card. Alright, so those are my essential items for Southeast Asia. Those are all things that I think you really need to have because it'll make your trip better, make it last longer, and if anything goes wrong, hopefully you'll be covered. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't, like this video so that more people can see it and this information can help out more people that are going to travel to Southeast Asia.